Alright, arriving back at the Nexus for the... Well, not the second final time, but straight from a world. You can already see right there, I quickly flashed up all the areas except for, I believe, Boletaria are completely... Or, you know what, probably not completely, but like probably one off of pure white tendency. But anyway, we're just going to come back here to the Dirty Colossus battlefield in hopes of finding a couple of items that are still around there. Get a black new moon grass. Sorry. And I was trying to remember if we could pick up... Well, typically what I would do is I would pick up a lot of the items that are around the plague pit over where we fought Jarl Vinland. But it's just so... And it's not tedious, but it would be... There's a couple of good things to pick up, but they're not detrimental to the rest of this playthrough. So you can see over there is, if you come back with pure white tendency, or close to it, just go ahead and cast Second Chance, because why not? It's just so damn good. And we just got it, so you start using it again. And there's the Black Phantom Jarl Vinland waiting for you if you come back to this field. And this is an example of pretty much what you would not hope to see, or expect to see in a Black World Tendency playthrough, which is what we're going to be doing in the sort of quote-unquote HD replaythrough of this game with higher technology available to me. Black Phantom versions, of course, do a ton of damage, and they're actually more combat intelligent. And as soon as I say that, Jarl's Black Phantom AI just does something totally weird right there. He like walks toward the wall and leaves himself completely open. So even though their AI is more aggressive, I would definitely say, not necessarily more intelligent or tactically sound. They're just more aggressive, and they do a lot more damage, and of course have a lot more health. Now I did get pretty lucky there, but you can see, as you saw a little bit, Jarl Vinland will try to not just heal like he did right there, though that is annoying and very bad, especially since these Black Phantoms can be so infuriating, but he'll actually try to parry us. Now, if you get the crest of Vinland, that's for Celine Vinland, his sister. But for that, you need... Well, I'll take it back. We could go back and give it to her, but again, that's not detrimental to the rest of this playthrough. I think just talking to her is a means of getting a hold of her sword, which... Well, let's be honest, we're not looking for any more weapons. Now, coming over here, immediately catch the plague, just making sure... oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's been a few days since I did this post-commentary. For whatever reason... Her pureblood soul is not in my inventory. So I was wondering to see if it was back there, but I look at my souls and I'm pretty sure, 90% sure, that they were just banked into my souls. It's so weird. I mean, in order to make this more fluid, I just quickly exit the game. Just really quick on the side here. Talking to Pat, just make absolutely sure we get everything we want from him. We just get a couple new moon grass. But it's time for this weasel, this rat, to die. In a rather fitting way. Anyway, well, like I said, we'll expend much, much more. I look forward to that early on in the replay through. So let's go ahead and fix things up. So what was I talking about before? Shoot. Anyway, moving on. Now that everything else is done, shoot, in the back of my mind, I'm trying to remember what we're talking about. Shoot, that's the thing with... Even with post-commentary or even live commentary, you can quickly get off track. But anyway, final bits of preparation here. We're going to go ahead and take on the... Every world is visited. And unfortunately, we don't have the World of Giants because it never came out in DLC. But there is still the final two parts of the Palace of Boletaria. The first Mega Fog door, I guess you could say, that we need an Archdemon's soul to get through. So you can actually come here as soon as you beat the Dragon God. But anyway, get this nice little cutscene here. Very dramatic. Go to the last stretch, actually leading to the Boletarian Castle. We have this creep to welcome us. And trust me, he will get his up-and-comings one way or another. And the rest of the jerkasses. Anyway. Moving right along. There's a couple of traps in here, not nearly as bad as some other areas. So let's go ahead and, once again, make sure to cast that second chance. There's a couple of dogs in here. They're pretty infuriating just because their attacks are more swift. And because there's no poison in this game, they can easily flinch you. So it's just about getting the timing right, mostly. But then that shouldn't be a problem. There's a couple of false leads in this area. Like that right there. That's a slave shield. Totally useless. It's a trap. So we're just going to go ahead and trigger it by coming a little bit further. And then we get another cutscene. So they closed the gate on us, and now we have to find a way to go around. But thankfully, these two barge in here. Now, something I noticed in the Souls games is that you have levels of enemies sometimes. The reason I say this is because in Dark Souls, you have levels of Titanite demons. The first one you meet is what I would call level 1 Titanite demon, and a couple other ones you meet in Sense Fortress are level 2. The reason I say that is because it's not that they're black phantoms, which makes more sense of why they're different. But these regular foot soldiers are a lot stronger and have more health than the ones from earlier parts of the Balatarian Palace. Now, I saw over there a bit is you're going to have Imperial spies. These guys aren't too bad, really. What they're going to try to do is there's going to be more false leads, like poor items, usually slave shields. And then they'll try and, they don't backstab you, I don't believe. They probably could, so don't get me wrong, don't quote me on that. But as we move along here, there's going to be a couple areas where they will pop up. This area has, well, of course, a lot of foot soldiers like these guys. A couple of Imperial spies, 1 or 2 traps. I believe that's actually the last one. Oh, actually, take that back. Technically, there's the Imperial spy traps over here. Like another one over there. And then, of course, there's going to be a couple of Black Knights. Or, sorry. Should be more specific. Red Eye Knights. Now, of course, the Red Eye Knights are stronger than the Blue Eye ones. There's going to be some that dual wield. Of course, naturally, even though they're more open to attack, they do a ton more damage, like the one coming up over here behind this fog door. This guy over here is dual wielding a greatsword. For whatever reason, he usually charges me at some point, but you got to be very careful because those openings at the bridges, the guys with the crossbows will hit you. This fat official over here, that's what they're called. It's not the same one. We're chasing him. But this guy is going to drop something that we're going to want. Drops the Rusted Iron Key. And there's actually 2 places we're going to save 2 NPCs here. One guy is really awesome. Another one just because. She might actually be very useful later. And so, moving back here, just to double back, there is a knight here. I didn't come over here intentionally. This would be really hellish if you had the crossbow guy shooting at you across the way. So that's something to be very grateful for. I don't know. Something about the Ultra Greatsword's reach is that if it hits the wall, even if you're remotely close to it, sometimes it can stop your attack, and these guys will just capitalize on it like no one's business. But coming up along the way here, just showing the rest of it, there we come up to the
Good day.
yeah, the depraved salesman. Just this is a lot of the stuff that you can get, really good basic stuff, you know, non-unique weapon kind of things.
Thanks for that.
Just pick up some more New Moon Grass from them, kind of just like patches. And over there is the Zweihander, or the equivalency in this game, I believe. A pretty decent Ultra Greatsword, but naturally, of course, I prefer the Dragon Bone Smasher. So yeah, like I said, this area, you don't have to go in the order I did. You can actually come here straight away as soon as you get an Archdemon Soul, typically the Dragon God. And then you can come over here and pick up whatever you need, you just have to farm souls for it. So yeah, as much as, this is what I don't like, you can't just immediately jump over ladders. There's no jump in Demon Souls, there is a running jump in Dark Souls, but at the same time, the ladder climbing speed is so much better at Dark Souls. It's kind of, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but it doesn't. Okay, I take it back. There's kind of a trap here, but it's just nice. But unfortunately, you climb so slow, up or down, in Demon Souls. Where we get another dual wielding knight. Thankfully, because of our awesome weapon, we can finish him off in one backstab. A couple more soldiers here just to mess with you. So yeah, this area is more. I don't know. I don't get a more sieging the palace kind of, or storming the palace kind of feel from this part of the area, but what are you gonna do? It's definitely filled with a bunch of soldiers, like it will be guarded, but I don't know how else they could have done it better. It's definitely alright, but I don't know, now that I think about it, watching it. Anyway, I digress. Moving along here, we actually are going to be running into an old friend. As we take care of some more guys, making our way back around to the gate. You don't necessarily have to, but it's just more proficient to make a way back to this area. Again, typically what I do is I go along the side here, so we're probably going to do that a ways later. So there's the fat official that was...
Help! Soulstaff soldiers are after me. In the name of all... Oh Lord...
So yes, we have
Thank you for rescuing me.
That's what I was saying. Oh yeah, this is actually pretty odd here. Notice how there's only one Black Knight here? I have no idea why. There's supposed to be 2 Black Knights and 1 like guard, a regular guy. So I come back over.
No. Help me. I'll never make it.
I don't know why he did that, but there they are. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to figure something out on my computer. So yeah, for whatever reason, they come over here, and they spawn. I don't know what the problem was, but Ostrava, who kept interrupting me before, which will now.
You saved my life. This is the 3rd time I am truly indebted to you. This is all I have. But please accept it. Now, I must go. My father, the king, awaits me just over there.
So yeah, we get a pure clear stone. The pure versions of the stones naturally are the hardest to achieve, to get, and they like maximize whatever enchantment they give. I apologize again in the HD version. I will try and I don't know if I should even bother trying to riddle out the complicated, overcomplicated rather, upgrade system in Demon Souls. But to be fair, I suppose I should give it some fair consideration. But anyway, we get the Fat Official's cap from that last one that we killed at the gate. And in order to come back here, we could go on forward to the boss, but we're going to come back here to free the NPCs that we need to. One in particular is right back here, right actually before the Tower Knight, the boss of Area 2 of Palace Boletaria. He's over here in these cages, and there's a couple items. Some of them are empty, some have items, and of course one of them has our friend, who not only has an awesome fashion sense, but has an incredibly awesome personality. Since we come over to him, I believe he's... Okay, no, that's an empty one. He's in here. Just sitting there. He's not just sitting there. He's actually,
Who goes there?
Oh, sleeping, yeah.
You killed that vile insect and saved me. I am called Bior, the elder of the Twin Fangs of Boletaria. I thank you. You deserve a handsome reward. Only I have none.
I love Rare. It's just so awesome.
Go on ahead. I shall sleep a while.
Again. Oh, old warriors. I really hope my beagle's howling isn't getting caught on the microphone. But what are you going to do? That's actually not intentional. I was sighing about my commentary, or what's might be being caught in the commentary, but it just, Briar is sort of, well, what's the word? It's not lackluster, but sort of nonchalant attitude in the midst of all this. Oh yeah, I was probably stuck in here for the rest of my life, but then you came along. And now everything's good. So carefree. Now what you gotta do? Old warriors, what are you gonna do? So, for the next NPC, go ahead and come over here. You need the Fat Official's Cap for this to work all the way. You get the Bloody Iron Rings. There's a small maze over here. It's not too bad. It's really easy to riddle out. Yes, Stone of Ephemeral Eyes there. You might think that all these Stone of Ephemeral Eyes are probably just getting banked for no reason. Like, they're not going to be useful. That might not necessarily be true, because the final boss is no slouch. He's not extremely difficult for a veteran player, but he's not simple either. There's always an opportunity to lose and die to him in any Souls game. Even if you're, a seasoned player in any of these games, you'll know that, again, if you lose your patience, or if you just naturally make any kind of mistake, it happens. You can be really punished for that, unfortunately. Now, you need to have the Official's Cap in order to get him to lower this bridge, or sorry, the stairway. We're just going to beat the ever-living hell out of him. We can finally toss this ugly cap away. Some New Moon Grass, and then we come to...
Heavens, you came to save me. Thank you. No, I'm fine. With a little rest, I can soon walk.
This is Yuria the Witch, one of the other explorers who came into the fog.
You go on ahead. I do not wish to be a dead weight.
In the Boletarian area. Each of these NPCs that you see normally in the loading screens that I cut out, just for time's sake, are actually characters who wandered in here for their own reasons, for one reason or another, into Boletaria to either wipe out the Demon Scourge or try and seize power from it. Some of who have actually learned their lessons. I believe Yuria is one of them. Yuria or Yuri? I don't know. I'm sorry. Can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, now that we've freed the NPCs that we need to, one of which, they'll both go back to the Nexus, but one of which is actually going to help us in the boss fight. And not that I need it, it's just, come on, it's Prior, it's so awesome. I mean, I guess in the HD playthrough of the redo, in the Black World tendency, I'll probably just go it alone, without Prior. But over here, there's actually going to be 3 spear-wielding Black Knights, Red Eye Knights. Well, they are Black Knights, but to be more specific. Covered with a bunch of annoying guardsmen. You see them right there. The Fat Official, he's over there a little bit. If you shoot one of these, I think the furthest one back, the furthest foot soldier, it'll activate the cutscene. Okay, I guess not. It's when you reach a certain point, but it's just better to kill him then. And then when you walk closer, you'll activate this next cutscene. Now, unfortunately, I step a little bit too close and I trigger and aggro all 3 of them, so this is going to be a very interesting fight. Sort of makes up for the 2 that you were supposed to fight before while saving Ostrava. These shields are really annoying. They have so much stability in the hands of these knights, so I actually get really close to death here. Second chance activates, but that's what it's there for, and I'm so grateful for it. Get really close to death here, so back up a tiny bit, heal up, backstab one of them, finally finish it off. I'm not entirely sure where the 3rd one went. I guess he de-aggroed at some point, or maybe I finished him off, I didn't realize it in a side swipe hit, what have you. But anyway, these guys are really awesome for fighting high level grass. So you can actually go ahead and once we finish this boss, you can go ahead and just come back to the Archstone and approach from behind. Probably better to have a bow and arrow. And you can just aggro them out one at a time. Come over to right about here, and then go ahead and then just backstab them like once or twice, depending on how good your weapon is, and then farm the souls from there. Oh, I digress. Let's go ahead and buff our weapon and take on the boss. And so we have the Penetrator fight, which is made infinitely more
Polish of a stop.
enjoyable and hilarious, aside from his very unfortunate name. Because Breyer was with us, unfortunately just got hit by his, well, I guess you could say signature attack. Yes, of course, the Penetrator will thrust forward and actually stick you on the sword end and just toss you away, kind of like how, well, another grab move would end up being. The Turpentine added a little bit to our aid, to our damage, but no, every time, I swear some games want you to guide your attacks, and those I just don't, not unfortunately. Thankfully, when he does his grab animation, he is still vulnerable to damage. So, yeah, fortunately, while Breyer is here to take one for the team, or a couple for the team by now, it has been met with much success. Now, actually, this is kind of as low as I've seen his health yet. He is helping, of course. So let's go ahead and finish this fight off.
You have obtained the demon soul. One more demon down!
Well, you already know the rest.
Oh yes, there's never enough time to actually accurately portray all the fun stuff I could include in these commentary for these boss fights. Now, as you can see here, he does have a heavy crossbow. I have no idea why. The thing does absolutely little to no damage, even when he's wielding it. But, whatever. His greatsword, which unfortunately is not as epic as ours, does a decent amount of damage. But, yeah, that fight I imagine to be much more difficult, or taxing rather, without him. But, oh, just such wonderful personality. Would not ask for another person to be here.
Fine work back there. There again. How could a demon ever stand up to a bona fide knight? Now you go on ahead. I must be getting older. I need some rest.
And yes, well, what can I say? Great minds think alike. If he has the same armor as we do. Come on now. Alright, now a couple other statues in here that can add to be broken by the Penetrator. The Silver Demon Soul. And with that, only one final boss sits between us and finding the old one. Putting this matter to rest. So, this will be actually a prelude to the finale. With that, I will see you guys then, when we finally storm the Boletarian Castle.